Hi, my name is Jacob Adams, creator of www.evolutiontraining.net, helping people like you develop as leaders and achieve more. Have you ever had problems forgiving somebody? Have you ever not been able to, I'm talking about deep in the crevices of your feelings, in your gut, in your belly, maybe your mind. How does it feel when you don't forgive somebody? It's happened to me, and it's one of those things, right? That sometimes we don't want to just say, you know what, I haven't been the perfect person all my life either, and this person is clearly not their best at the moment. Just laugh it off. Eventually, can't we just laugh it off? Like, I thought to myself, see, I'm going to tell you a few things on forgiveness. I have an incredible, deep story that it's going to blow your mind. But first, I'll tell you a little bit about this forgiveness in just daily life. For about 2 years, I processed the breakup. And, I felt bad. I would call my friends and tell them, oh, I miss her. I can't believe I miss her. And why can't I let go? And it was this dramatic feeling, and sooner or later, I think on some level, those feelings were real. They were. They really were. I'm going to give myself that. At the same time, as time went on, I found myself, I had to ask myself, like, isn't this also just you, Jacob, being a little easy on yourself? Like, isn't this also just you kind of placating yourself that there's something so dramatic in your life called this breakup? We didn't have kids. It was a 1.5 year relationship, was never really, did I really truly see that everything was in alignment to work long term? And here I was like, this passion and making this big old stink about things. And I had work to do. I had to work at my job, had people to work with, people to train. And here I was making a stink, bringing these toxic emotions into my life. And so eventually, through enough soul searching, through enough, facing things, I said, like, on some levels, isn't this just me, like, over dramatizing the situation a little bit? Like, just a little bit, And so as I started asking myself this question, soon I saw, like, yeah, I kind of am. It's not that easy to get there. Like, it was not easy for me to get there. So if you're going through a heartbreak, trust me, I know. I know. Like, it is, it's a whirlwind of perspective and emotions and a cocktail of depression, and Lord knows what kind of things you were thinking, right? So some kind of dark, abysmal things. And I had to ask myself, is this just you over dramatizing? Or aren't you more capable than this? Aren't you stronger than this? You lift weights, you're into bodybuilding, you're into CrossFit, you're a strong leader, you're into leadership, you're into personal development. You have this resume that says you can handle this, right? And it's defeating you. And it's bringing you down to your bed where you're, like, wallowing in your own misery. Oh, I can't believe it, right? Looking back, I'm like, why? Why? Right? And so I wanted to bring this to you, like, forgiveness. Because the scope of which we experience these deep human emotions, these sadnesses, these depressions, these crazy whirlwinds of tornadoes, of hurricanes, of storms that we go through, are sometimes difficult to then, forgive somebody. Because we sometimes feel like, no, like, And in my case, in this one situation for this one person, I would tell you that if she was here right now, I'd probably be laughing my butt off now, because she's fine, whatever. She's her. I just wanted her to be who I wasn't. I mean, who she wasn't, and that was not very, very giving and very loving of me. Do you see what I'm getting at here? Where sometimes the hardest truths to accept are the ones that we need to accept. Because in that acceptance is freedom, is energy, and that's where you can find yourself again and your joy. You know? Again, I don't think that this video or these concepts are easy. Like, you're not eating some chicken nuggets one day on a Thursday and you just go, I need to just accept people where they are, love them where they are, because that's just the right thing to do, and I shouldn't want people to be the way I want them to be, and that's ridiculous. I would never think that. This is like to really operate as that and give people the space they need to be who they are in a relationship, and forgive them if things don't go quite the way you want them to. That takes a level of strength that goes beyond the weight room. It takes a level of strength that goes beyond focus. Because once we engage with people and we share part of our intimate self, maybe sometimes more than we should have or we could have, or maybe with wanting something in return, a level of their loyalty in return, or something that maybe it wasn't talked about. Who knows? The complexities involved in relationships are pretty deep. So I'm not going to get into them all. Just saying that sometimes we don't give freely without conditions. And it's in that condition that we find our disappointment because our expectations weren't met. And then we find ourselves at odds having trouble forgiving somebody for something they didn't necessarily sign up for. Does that make any sense where I'm going here with this? That forgiveness is such a funny thing. Because while yes, often the person that's asking for forgiveness often has a good point, that same person with excellent points, with a perspective of so solid frameworks and complete respect, which may even get complete acknowledgement from everyone around them that, yeah, they're the right one and that person's a jerk. Even then, I would still challenge that person and say, maybe, just maybe, you're not loving them for who they are. And the forgiveness that you want is the forgiveness that you can't give is actually, on some level, forgiveness that you need from them. But they may never ask because they're not aware that it's unfair for you to ask them to be who they could never be, or who they don't want to be, or who, I'm going there because we look at forgiveness like it's some sort of, someone owes it to you. And I can't think that a true leader would let something like that defeat them for a long time. This is real leadership. This isn't play by some Mickey Mouse leadership. This isn't let's make everyone feel good day. I'm going to give you a story now that you've heard enough about this. I'm going to give you a story that was told to me one time. This individual, he actually had gotten in trouble, and he met somebody. He met somebody that, he met this woman, or actually I believe he met a man, and that man had gone to jail. And the man had hurt somebody. He had broken into a house and hurt somebody. And he ended up kidnapping a girl, and even he murdered the girl. And this man, so this is this guy's telling me this guy's story. So this guy here, he is he murdered a girl, and he even ended up really hurting the body. Well, they found him. He went to jail. He did his time. And this story was told to me a while back. So from memory, what ended up happening was he asked the woman, the mother of this girl that was killed. She goes and visits this man in jail, and she asked him, "I want to know why you did it." And he says, "I can't give you a reason. I don't have a reason. I just did it. I don't have a reason to give you." Okay. And so she went away that day, etc. And then she came back, who knows when, but she came back. And she just said, "You know what? I forgive you." So this woman's daughter's been killed, and hurt badly. I'll even say decapitated was the word, or there was a lot of problems with the body when it was found. And this woman goes back to the jail and she forgives him. She says, "I forgive you because she didn't deserve it and everything. You didn't know what you were doing. You don't even know why you did it, and your own pain, your own suffering is gonna be enough for you to deal with. I'm gonna go ahead and forgive you." And I don't know exactly what was said. I remember this. It was like 2 years ago where I hear this story. So you'd have to forgive me for the accuracy right this second. And when I heard this story, now what ended up happening to the man, I think he ended up becoming a pastor or something like that, gave his life to God eventually at some point. And when I heard this story, I was like, because my friend hadn't met the man. And so when I heard this story, I was blown away. I'll be honest with you. I think it was one of those stories that I was meant to hear, because here I was at that time going through a breakup, and I was like, my goodness, like if this woman could forgive somebody at that level, then why am I even struggling with forgiving somebody at something like, it's just sort of like trauma, So I really examined my inner strength at that time. And I'll leave you with that story. And then there was one last moment that year where a pastor does come into my office, and I believed I loved this person I was in a relationship with, the one I was breaking up with. And he goes, "Jacob, the highest level of love is forgiveness." And I was like, yeah, okay, wow. This is a pastor telling me at this moment where I'm going through this stuff. And I was like, okay, And one final thought. Osho, he wrote a quote, and it goes like this. It goes, if you see a flower, don't pick it up. Just admire it. Because if you pick it up, then you kill it, and it ceases to be the beautiful thing you originally saw. I think that says a lot about love, and it says a lot about the way we gotta treat people in forgiveness and give it more freely than we, as a society, sometimes in an overarching theme, treat forgiveness. This is Jacob Adams, really hitting home with this because it's a deep one. Subscribe or share if you like the video, or you need to share a concept of forgiveness to one of your friends. I'll see you next time. Peace.